Before we dive into this, I want to let you guys know that a lot of people think I'm not adequate to tell you these things because I'm so young. I don't agree. Since I was age 9, I have been addicted to hunting. Other people have football, they have basketball, stuff like that. I don't get involved with that stuff because I like hunting so much. And being out there, it's an awesome experience every single time. And so ever since age 9, I've just started reading books. I have listened to seminars. I have watched video upon video. I study this stuff, okay, because I like it so much. It's one of those things you want to learn more about because you want to be that experienced guy in the field. You want to be able to tell other people about your experiences and actually be valid about what you're talking about and know what you're talking about. So that was my goal ever since I was age 9. I've just started reading. I've started listening to seminars. You know, I love listening to seminars. I've talked to a bunch of older guys who've been hunting for over 40 years. I believe that's where the true knowledge is held, to be honest. They have been hunting there. They have the experience under their belt. They've been hunting over 40 years, guys, and they have the experience under their belt to be able to tell me the truth. And they know what's going to happen. They can teach me so much, and I love talking to them, the older generation, about hunting because they were there from the beginning. Before we had all this crazy technology, they knew the basics, and the basics is what gets you your big bucks. And guys, there are some skills that just have been deleted out of hunting or just not taught to people out of hunting. Some of these traditional skills that have just been attributed with hunting for years and years and years and years, they're just disappearing, and I want to teach you guys some of those because that is how I get my success. I don't hunt over corn. I know guys that hunt over corn. I think that's cool, but you know the issue with a lot of those guys, not all of them, but a lot of them, is you take over their corn and they don't know how to hunt. And my favorite part of hunting is the strategy. You know, deer are unpredictable, okay? You could see a huge buck on your show camera every day, legal shooting hours, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then you go hunting Friday and he's not there. And that's the cool thing about hunting. They're unpredictable. The deer are unpredictable. But behind it all, underlying it all, there's a strategy, okay? And if you work out your strategy the best way you can, and it all comes together, it is the most accomplished feeling you'll ever get, guys. It's awesome. So, guys, I'm going to show you a bit of what my strategy is, what I use, the variables I find in hunting, and I put them into my strategy, and they've always helped me. I have seen a ton of deer, guys. You know, early October is probably my worst time. I don't see a lot of deer in there right about then, but when mid-October hits from there, I just start seeing deer all the time, and it's awesome. And it's partially because of what's happening and the deer are running everywhere, but it's also partially because I have set up in strategic places. I know where to set up and why to set up there. So I want to show you some of those skills and just follow along, and hopefully you learn something from this. I hope you do. That's the goal of the video. So thanks for subscribing, liking it. We really appreciate it. You guys have gotten us to heights we never thought we'd get to before. Yeah, like I said, we hit 500 subscribers the other day, and I was like jumping up and down in my chair. It was awesome. That a lot of guys take out from hunting is scent elimination, okay? First off, I want to start off by saying you can't always get away 100% of your scent. It's not going to happen, okay? You're constantly putting out scent molecules. It happens. But you can greatly control your scent, okay? That's something I wanted to point out. You're not going to always get 100% rid of your scent. It just doesn't happen. But you can control it to the point where the deer's nose isn't going to be able to pick it up. That's why I use Kissel's Pro Shield, okay? I like it. I was out there early this season. I was sweating like a dog. Ugh, I use that term all the time. But you gotta realize something. Dogs don't sweat, alright? So, let me rephrase that. I was sweating a lot out there. And I was using this every single time I went out there. Sweating tons, just sweating buckets. And the deer didn't smell me. I had deer getting within 20 yards of me and staying there for like 5 minutes, and they didn't smell me. It was incredible. It was really awesome. So, I'm staying loyal to this brand. I was using Scent-Away before, and I mean, it did a good job. But this, I mean, I don't even know what it's made of, but it's awesome, guys. So use scent elimination to your advantage. That is a huge part of hunting, especially if you're a bow hunter. Gun hunters, it's important too. Bow hunters, it's even more important because you have to get closer to your game. Wind direction, that is extremely important as well. Make sure your wind is blowing away from the deer, okay? You do not want your scent drifting down into their noses because they're going to smell you and they're probably going to blow. So that's not good, okay? You don't want those deer to blow and run away. Never good when that happens. So play the wind, use your scent elimination to the best of your ability because it is extremely helpful when you're out there. That's just one of the tips I want to give you. So let's move on. Another thing I like to use in my hunting strategy are trails. You know, it's an obvious thing. A lot of people know it. But trails, if they're being used, you're going to be able to tell right away. You know, this trail right here is blazed. You can tell it's been trodden a lot, and that's awesome. Great place to hang a stand. Great place to put a blind and stuff. So look for the trails. If you find a heavily used trail, there are deer using it. Whether it's a doe or buck, it doesn't matter because later in the season, if there's a doe, there's a very good chance it's going to be a buck, especially if she's in heat. And just another tip I use in my hunting strategy. Another thing I use to put in my equation. Another thing, behind me, there are a bunch of deer bedding areas. If you haven't seen this before, they kind of look like that. Okay? So it's basically just a flattened down area of grass about the size of a deer. And they bed down here, guys. So what this tells you is if you're setting up a stand around here, you're going to want to get in there early, okay? Get in there around 3:30ish latest, okay? Because you don't know when those deer are going to bed down, and the longer you can be in that stand, the better chances of you actually getting a deer are. Because you know they're coming here to bed down, all right? And so I would go up on the travel corridor. I wouldn't set up right here simply because the chances of them seeing you are going to be easier, especially in this area. I would set up somewhere like travel corridor where I know they're working their way to here, all right? I want to figure out which way they're going on the trail because I would set up on the area that's coming to here and has the most tracks on it, okay? So I learned that the tracks are coming this way, so if I was to set up a stand, I'd actually set it back up there on that travel corridor. So that's just another tip I use, another thing that helps me in my hunting strategy, so hope it helps you. You know, it's simple. People know this, but I decided to show it to you guys anyway in case you didn't, so hope this helped. So let's move on to the next tip. A lot of people don't look for this one thing, and this can make or break your hunt. Alright, that's an acorn. Oaks. If you have oaks in your property, especially in the late season, hunt them, okay? I'm just telling you that right now. The deer are going to be moving in there to eat these acorns. They're full of protein and fiber, and they're trying to store up fat for the winter, okay? And I don't personally like hunting them now, okay? I can see some of these are already starting to drop, and that's awesome. But I personally don't like hunting them now because I know that the deer are actually still browsing on those green forbs and everything that are in the fields, okay? That's why I'm hunting the fields right now primarily. You know, I think the deer love coming in here for cover, but overall, I like hunting the fields because I know that those deer are trying to take advantage of those green forbs that are still out there right now from the early season. So when it starts getting colder and all that green vegetation starts dying off, I'm moving where the oaks are because I know this is a great spot. There are trails blazed throughout the whole entire area. So just a hint right there. Remember, acorns are key in the late season. You know, if you have like a soybean food plot, that's awesome. I'd hunt over that. But if you don't, go for the oaks, okay? You know, white oaks, red oaks, they're awesome, guys. The deer love them. Don't hunt the tree where they're dropping, okay? That's usually not the best idea. Hunt a tree near them that's not an oak, okay? Simply because you don't want to be there where the deer are going to be eating because you're going to be super close. And unless you have a ton of cover, I just wouldn't do that because most oaks, at least around here, they grow up straight for a long time before they put out branches, so you don't have much cover. Look for the acorns, you'll find the deer. Another thing, look for that heavy cover, alright? Later in the season, those deer are definitely going to be using the heavy cover because, you know, the gun season already happened. They're scared, they're skittish, they're going to be running in to that heavy cover, and that's the place to hunt. You know, I cleared out an area over here, that's why I'm going to be hunting late season when late season comes around. So it's still early season. I like hunting the fields right now. There's actually a huge trail coming through here, so I know that's going to be a good area to hunt later in the season. So definitely look for the heavy cover. The deer are going to be using it, especially during the late season. They'll be using it now, but not as much as when the late season comes around, because by then they'll be really scared and they'll be in the heavy cover. So look for that. Another tip. This is actually a scrape that happened. I can't believe it happened this early in the season, but it doesn't look as fresh as some might think it is. And here's a tip my neighbor showed me. that will tell you how fresh a scrape actually is. So you're gonna see little bits of that. Tear it, and if you just tear it and hold on a second. Let's see if I can find you the difference. Well, you can tell that's yellowed, that's white, okay? So this is older, and this would be newer. Alright? Things like this, guys, are what you want to look for, okay? This is a rub. I don't know which buck it's by. I have a good guess because I actually saw a buck not 20 yards away from here. He was pretty darn nice. He probably was a shooter. I don't know, 3.5 years old probably. I'm looking more for a 4.5-year-old, but I'll take, I guess, what I can get. I'm a little bit more lenient with a bow. When it comes to a gun, I'm a lot more picky. So, anyway, this is a good sign, okay? But it can't really prove anything. First off, I can't tell you the size of the buck, and that's not good. Second off, it doesn't mean the buck's going to be coming back here as regularly as he would a scrape, okay? Scrapes are usually more productive simply because both does and bucks will use to scrape, okay? And the bucks will piss off the buck that actually made the scrape, and the does will keep the buck coming back because, you know, it shows that it's basically just their way of calling each other, alright? It's not necessarily calling, you know, they have the grunts and their bleeps for calling, but what I'm saying is it's kind of a rain check, you know, in a weird, twisted sort of way. But, so, because again, if you have a trail camera, I would recommend definitely putting it out here, trying to figure out what's here, because I'm not exactly sure, but like I said, I saw a buck last night actually 20 yards away from here, so that's why I'm all sprayed down and stuff, is because I don't want to spook anything really that much. I'm here in the middle of the day, so I'm hoping that nothing actually is getting spooked away from me, but that's just, when you're scouting, make sure you try and get out here in the middle of the day. It's usually the best time. But this is kind of cool. I'm pretty happy to be seeing this. There's actually another scrape down my hill. It's on a much bigger tree than this. A lot of people think that the bigger the tree, bigger the buck, and that's not necessarily true. Sometimes it is, but it's not necessarily true. For instance, you're not going to have like a spike most likely scraping up a telephone pole, okay? That's going to be usually a huge buck. That's not always true, though. I mean, the spike, if he wants to, he can do that. It's just going to take a lot longer time, and it's more efficient for him to go down to smaller trees, scrape them up, multiple trees, and get them done. It's kind of like setting traps. The more traps you set, the better your chances are of actually connecting with an animal. So, with the bigger bucks, you know, it's the same way. They don't really care as long as they're actually showing that they're dominant, you know. So they're going to try and get, there's a rub line going up and down this hill. I know there is, and I saw the buck. I'm pretty sure it's the same buck that did this. Just last night actually, so I'll show you a quick video of him. And they didn't get him on video for long, but that's okay, as long as I got to see him for a little bit and judge him. I think he's 3.5 years old, so he might not be a shooter, but I'm a little bit more lenient with a bow than I am a gun, simply because gun, you know, you can shoot from a long way off, and I just don't feel like it's not the same as hunting with a bow, you know. If a 3.5-year-old comes in with a bow, I'm probably going to take him, to be honest. So I'm on a trail right now, guys, and deer are going to use the trail of least resistance, the path of least resistance. They're just like you and me. They don't want to trudge through all these thorns and brambles and stuff when they can walk on a beaten path, okay? And they're lazy, just like you and me. So I like to hunt the trails a lot, okay, just because I know the deer travel them, I can see their prints and everything. I know that they're on this trail a lot, so I like hunting trails. The main thing, however, my favorite place to hunt is a bottleneck, alright? If you guys don't know what a bottleneck is, or a funnel, if you haven't heard that term, basically it's any area that makes a deer go into a smaller area, alright? So if you have the corner of a field, they're probably going to travel along those field edges until they meet the corner, alright? In that corner, I bet you there's going to be a trail going back into the woods. That's what almost all my fields have. I love hunting those areas, okay? Because there's a very good chance there's going to be a deer working their way towards there. It's not always true, but a lot of times it is. You can create your own funnels or bottlenecks, whatever you want to call them. And the way you do that is you usually get some shrubbery, or you get some trees, and you will make about a V shape in an area where there are about 5 trails. Those 5 trails are going to get cut off. So those 5 trails are all going to combine into one, where those deer are actually going to funnel through that one trail. You hunt that one trail, your chances are going to be multiplied by a lot. So that's a great practice right there. Hey guys, so I just want to thank you so much for watching our video. We really appreciate it. We hope that you will subscribe and like our video, and dislike if you didn't like it, you know. So please comment. Let us know what you think about the video. If there's anything we should have added in. There's a lot of controversy over hunting over corn, and I don't have an issue with it, but I think that you can be more successful than hunting over corn, to be honest, by using these techniques. That's what I've always used, and I've been extremely successful. And overall, I'm more successful than most people who hunt over corn. So, personal preference, but I like using my skills and my strategy to get the deer. I like earning them, in my opinion, but not that you're not earning them by buying the corn and stuff. It's not the same, in my opinion. I mean, like my hunt last time with Jake, that was awesome. I enjoyed that, and I don't regret putting corn out there at all. That was awesome, and that definitely that made or broke our hunt. I mean, if we wouldn't have had that out there, we probably wouldn't have got him, and that was awesome. I really enjoyed that hunt with him. That was great. But I just feel like people are forgetting how to actually find out where the deer are going. I mean, not everybody. A lot of people use corn just because it's convenient, and that's cool, and I understand that. But I just want to teach you guys some of the stuff that I have been taught over the years by a lot of older hunters, and it's always helped me out, and I hope it can help you guys too. So thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Have a great day. Good luck out there in the woods. Thanks for watching Camera Outdoors.